Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're taking a close look at a GoFundMe appeal. It's titled Justice for Laurence, Fighting Discrimination, Lost Home, Health, and Livelihood, From Peace to Nightmare.
Right.
And our sources are, well, they're the words of Laurence Williams and Reynalda Delgado themselves from that GoFundMe page. We're really just trying to understand the hardship they're describing.
Yeah, exactly. It's their account of what happened at their old apartment complex, Northland, at the Arboretum.
Mm-hmm.
They lay out how things basically spiraled, leading to losing their home, their financial footing. It's quite a story.
It sounds like it. They talk about alleged harassment, discrimination, retaliation.
Yeah.
A whole lot. And it's about this couple, Laurence and Reynalda, and their dogs, Capone and Kano.
And Laurence's background is, well, it's pretty relevant here. He mentions building a stable life, working as a facility maintenance tech at Tesla.
Right, that's a good job.
Yeah, and he talks about fulfilling a promise to his late mother who would overcome addiction. This apartment, it was the first one in his own name. Sort of a sanctuary.
So it wasn't just four walls, it meant something more.
Definitely. A symbol of stability, maybe. A safe space, as he puts it. Losing that clearly hit hard.
Okay, so when did the problem start, according to them?
They pinpoint it around June 2024. Laurence, who is a black man, says he became a target.
A target for what?
For practicing his boxing techniques outside at night. He used a basketball, apparently.
At night? Why then?
Well, he explains he has a heat sensitivity from a previous heat stroke, so nighttime was cooler. Plus, he says boxing helped him cope, stress, grief.
Mm-hmm.
He'd been doing it since he was 13.
Okay, so a coping mechanism, avoiding the heat.
And he says he took precautions, tried not to bother anyone, but apparently some tenants weren't happy.
And things escalated from there.
Seems so. He alleges he was falsely accused of being like a car thief, a gang member, even called crazy.
Oh, wow.
He felt it was racial profiling. And then he mentions increased community policing, even alleged bait car incidents in the area. So he started recording interactions.
For his own safety.
Exactly. And he claims that when he reported these issues to the apartment office, well, that's when he started experiencing property damage.
So reporting it made things worse, he believes.
That's the picture painted, yeah. The alleged harassment apparently ramped up, being followed, cars driving aggressively towards him.
Vehicular intimidation, sounds like.
Mm-hmm. And property damage, too. Busted tires, his car broken into. And then there's this one incident, quite scary.
What happened?
He says individuals who allegedly stole his basketball showed up on their porch. His girlfriend, Reynalda, nearly opened the door.
Oh, my God.
He had to yell at her to hide, call the police. It sounds terrifying. Later, he says his car was vandalized with a Spanish slur.
Just awful. So what about the apartment management and all this?
Well, they state they reported everything, asked for a transfer to a different unit.
Yeah.
They claim they got pushback. Retaliation, essentially. The manager allegedly denied the transfer, citing unpaid late fees, which Laurence says were false. Then the assistant manager allegedly got involved, harassed him, denied his right to record in the office, even called a constable on him.
Seriously.
And filed a police report against Laurence, apparently making similar claims to the ones Laurence had already been reporting about other tenants. It's quite tangled.
Sounds like a nightmare.
Yeah.
And then came the eviction.
Yes. They describe getting eviction notices they believe were unlawful. First, a 30-day notice based on the assistant manager's claims.
Okay.
But then an allegedly illegal 2-day notice right during the holidays. This was apparently just after he'd renewed his lease and paid rent.
2 days during the holidays.
Yeah. They felt they had no choice but to move out immediately within 48 hours because, courts were closed. No chance for judicial review right then.
That's incredibly fast. The stress must have been immense.
Unbelievable. And it didn't stop there. This whole situation, the stress, it allegedly impacted his job.
At Tesla?
Yes. He mentions a pre-existing hostile work environment being exacerbated, made him unable to work, basically. His employer then denied medical accommodations until way later, like July 2025.
So his income was just cut off?
Since December, according to the appeal, which led to, more problems. His car got repossessed, lost their cell phones, health insurance.
A total domino effect.
Exactly.
Yeah.
FMLA, short-term disability, all gone. Long-term disability was denied. He did get Obamacare eventually, but he mentions facing huge medical bills.
So where are they now?
They found a small house to rent in Pflugerville. But it sounds like a real struggle financially. Reynalda's covering everything on her single income.
And their Jeep is broken, too, they mentioned.
Yeah, adding to the transport issues, I imagine. Plus, they claim the old apartment complex kept their security deposit and even sent abandonment notices after they were forced out.
It's just one thing after another.
It really seems that way, based on their account.
So summing up their GoFundMe, they firmly believe they're victims of discrimination, retaliation, and gross negligence.
That's the core of their appeal, yes. From the initial issues with neighbors, through the alleged management actions, right up to the eviction and the financial fallout, it's presented as a connected series of injustices.
Okay, so this deep dive into Laurence and Reynalda's GoFundMe, it really paints a deeply concerning picture. Alleged harassment, discrimination, retaliation, all leading to losing their home, their stability.
Absolutely. And, beyond the potential legal stuff or the money, it highlights something really fundamental, the impact of feeling unsafe, unsupported, right where you live, and how that feeling, that situation can just cascade into every other part of your life, health, job, everything.
It really brings home the importance of just basic safe housing and how actions, maybe even small ones at first, can cause such huge disruption and distress. And definitely makes you think, doesn't it, about, the assumptions we might make about people and how crucial fair processes really are.